Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Stratego video. This is going to be a friendly match against I really suck. He's a gold colonel. Um yeah, so I'm using my setup that so he watches my videos, so I'm using the setup that I have been showing videos for a very long time. So hopefully he doesn't recognize it because this is the only setup that I've saved that I haven't used recently in a video. So yeah, let's get into this game. So I guard my scout with the major in case that's a captain. We exchange, and then I guard my major here with this sergeant. It's because I don't want to because this I'm going to try to bluff as a high piece later in the game. So I don't want to move it out in front of my major, or that's going to make it obvious that it's not a high piece. So I don't think this is good, and also my captain isn't known, so I decided to move up on it. So I don't really know what whether this guy's playstyle is, or like what kind of setups he likes, because I've never played him before, and also he doesn't make videos. So I have no idea what I'm getting into here. So as you can see his record, he's a really good player, like 60% ratio, and almost in platinum. So yeah, this guy's a really good player. You find a sergeant there, so I might be able to take that later with my mage or something. To go up there, so we find a major. So now I want to come up with my major and see if I can get one, if not both of these pieces. Unfortunately he calls it. I'm not sure if he thought it was a bluff or if he thought it was a major. But I'm not able to get these pieces, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's whatever. So I'm down 2 scouts and nothing else. So now I'm only down 1 scout, but he knows lieutenant. So I come up with this captain. I don't think this is much good because it came from the front. Sorry. This is the sergeant. My bad. And that I don't think he'll attack me because very few pieces will lose to a sergeant. And also I do this to make sure that you can't scout my general or spy, but I don't like just move it over like I would like this lieutenant. I make sure to like pretend that like I make sure to threaten the sergeant, so then he doesn't see that I'm trying. Well, it's less obvious that I'm trying to cover these pieces. So I just chase this piece back. I'm gonna bring this out. So this piece I'm trying to bluff this as a good piece because it makes sense. It came behind the lake, and I'm gonna try to defend this captain with it. Well, it can't actually defend a captain, but I'm just gonna make it look like it can. So yeah, there you go. I'm doing that. So here, if he had a captain here, he can just either easily take this, then exchange, which wouldn't be good. But I'm pretty sure he thinks that this is a good piece because it makes total sense because it came from here. It's guarding a captain. So yeah, I pull it back in to sell my bluff a little more. Now here, he's getting ready to scout this piece. So what I'm thinking is that he's probably gonna end up exchanging captains. This is probably a captain he's gonna end up exchanging, and then he's gonna scout this. And if it wasn't my marshal, I would be retreating it back by now because I would see what he's trying to do. So yeah, he's moving stuff over here to get yeah. So he moved these two over in order to make room for this probable scout to come in and scout this piece after he trades. So yeah, if this was a marshal, I'll be going down right now because I wouldn't care about losing captain. So I would rather keep this info. So yeah, so yeah, here I move back like, oh no, please don't scout me. But he scouts it, which is, I mean, it's fine. Like I don't really care. So yeah, I move my sergeant here because if he brings a scout here, it's not going to be good news. Because if I hit this with a major, then he's going to know this is good. If I hit it with a colonel, then obviously I'm giving up the info of a colonel, and then this bomb makes it so I can't actually take that scout. So I really don't want that to happen. So he finds out what my captain is. That's fine because he doesn't know anything over here, like immediately next to it that can take it. I can always take the sergeant. So he's trying to get my captain. I'm okay with losing it because So here's my logic here. So he already had a major on this this little area, so I don't think he would have another one, like because he'll miss two more majors, and I don't think that since he already had one here, I don't think he would have another one here. Granted, I did have a major here, and I have one here, but I just don't think that that would be logical for him to have. So I'm okay with losing my captain because I'm probably gonna get info of a colonel because I doubt he would give general or marshal info for a captain. So that's good. We find a colonel here. So that was in my opinion that was a good trade good trade for me because the captain it got a scout and it found a colonel. So I'm not sure if I'm winning at this point in the game. I don't. I might be. I think it's relatively even though. So he scouts my sergeant. That's totally fine. So it looks like he might be trying to mount an attack on the left side because maybe it's like kind of a standstill on the right, which that's true. I'll do this again so then he can't move a scout into here because that would just be devastating for me. So this sergeant is gonna be toast, but I just want to get some sort of info from it. So at this point, I'm confident that this is a captain, um, but I would like to find out what this is. So he's trade sergeant, so that was good. I actually didn't lose that sergeant all for nothing. So that was nice. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's a captain, but I don't want to hit it because if it's not, then I'm probably gonna get taken by this piece. He's moving it back, so now he's coming down with I believe that's the colonel, but my lieutenant's safe on the diagonal, so it's fine. So I pressure here with this Louis because I'm pretty sure it's not known and I came from here, so that this was my plan to bring it out and bluff as a high piece because I came from here behind the lake, so it's completely logical. Again, similar to this scout that I moved up earlier. So that was a captain, so we do exchange captains. Now I want to find out what this piece is, but so notice here he doesn't let me find out what it is by moving this down. If he didn't move it down, then I would be able to go up to here and scout this piece. This tells me that this could be something good, like I think probably major or better. If it was like a captain or something, you wouldn't be bothered to do that. Or it could be some bluff he's trying to sell. I'm not entirely sure. So that's pretty good, right? So we're down a captain and a lieutenant, so we do need to be careful, but we know both colonels here and here. So if the marshals are revealed, we can get the other one with our gen. If the gen's revealed, then we can assume that the marshal is on the other side. We can come up with our marshal there to get it because the spy wouldn't be there because spy is typically on the gen side. So I'd be scouting this, but I don't think it's worth it because he brought it down specifically so that this colonel wouldn't be scouted. So I think that this is probably like a scout or sergeant or something like really low ranked. So it's no point scouting it. So this lieutenant, I want to hit this and get in some info, but the problem is I'm already down a lieutenant and a captain, so I can't really afford to lose any more mid-level pieces to get info. So he's threatening my Louis with his colonel, but I have 3 squares, so I'll be fine. I think he might be scared of this miner because it did come from here, so that makes sense. So yeah, I think he might be scared of it, which is why he's not moving in here. So I bring my colonel up to defend my scout because I think that this is like a something like low to mediocre. Now here I try to bring this colonel up to get his colonel to go like down or like in or some or like over or something like that, and maybe I can get it with my general. I'm not really sure what the point of that is to be honest, but yeah, that's what I'm just trying to do with that move. So They were at a debate going up and having a sergeant hit it, but I realized that hit this colonel, you got a captain for it, and I don't want to get a sergeant for it because that wouldn't be good. So I did this just in case that this piece is a scout, because I don't want my colonel getting scouted. That'll be even worse than I'm getting it found out for a sergeant. So I notice here that he always wants to uncover this piece, which is interesting. So notice how first he came down with this piece like this to uncover this piece. It was also probably to cover this one, but since this is no longer here, it's a kernel, it's known and it's here. Um, he's bringing down a different piece to cover this, which is interesting. So right now I'm thinking that this could be the Marshal because Colonel Marshal, that makes sense, and also it's probably not the Gen because they'll probably be like Colonel Gen Spy typically. Typically, if a single piece is guarding a Colonel, it could be the Marshal. Because if it's a spy, then that person wouldn't want to take the chance of like the general coming over there and taking it. And in retrospect, when he did this, I should have shot my scout up right away and scouted this piece to see what it is. But I did it one move too late, and now I'm caught in two square. Even though I moved up here, but the counts basically as moving to here. So that was a shame. I wasn't able to scout it. Yeah, you can see there. I get the two square message. So that was a shame. I could have scouted that the move earlier. I just think I wasn't paying attention. So now I can't scout that piece. I do think it's the Marshal though, but I'm just not sure. So I just had to go right here with my scout, hoping, oh, like maybe this is a bomb because this is totally possible to be a bomb, and then I can scout this. But unfortunately, it's a minor, so that didn't happen. Yeah, this makes me very suspicious of this piece, especially now that it's like in between like a few other pieces. So yeah, I'm right now I'm thinking this is the Marshal. It's very important to trust your board reading while playing Stratego. And you need to take some risks when you suspect some pieces in order to win. Because if you play like extremely safe, you're not gonna win like a lot of games. You need to sometimes trust your board reading. So he threatens my lieutenant. I'm not sure what the point of that was because he didn't even take it. Now this isn't known, so this definitely could be a captain. But since my lieutenant's not known, he's probably not taking it. He might think it's major or something of that sort. But if it were a major, I'll be going up here because I know both colonels, and I'll be trying to get info of General Marsh. So here I'm not really sure what to do. I kind of have to wait for him to do something and then play off of what he does. Yeah, because my situation there's not much I can do. So here I just had to do something. So okay, so this is interesting. So I'm going for this colonel with my colonel and gen, hoping that I can get it with my gen. Maybe he'll think that this is my gen or something like that. But he's smart. He goes on the diagonal here. This was a good move on his end. He keeps trying to hit this, so he finally attacks this. So this is good and bad. So it's good, oh good, we got a major. So now we know major in both colonels. We know major colonel and suspected marshal. But the thing is, we're down now. I'm down a captain and two lieutenants, and that's very bad. Even though I do have a lot of info on this guy, it's just bad to be down that much material. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, I can get my gen over here, and maybe get one of these two. But then I'm like, no, he's gonna have time to escape. So I continue with my plan over here to maybe get this colonel. So he's doing this. So this tells me that he might it might be defended, or he just might not think that this is a good piece. Now I go up with both of them to just see what he does, because hopefully if Marshall's there, he might be like, oh Jen, this could be the spy. So I don't want to hit it after I take this if I do decide to take it. So this was a good move. So if I find out what this is, so now if this is a Marshall, I'll be completely screwed if I take this. I'll lose both of these pieces, which would not be very good. Yep. So I take the colonel with my generals. This was a pretty big risk for me to take, considering that the marshal could easily be one of these two. Probably that this piece would be such for the marshal. So I take that. Even though this could be the marshal, it totally could be. Again, this also could be the marshal, but I just don't think it is, and that's because this piece, it's acting so much like the marshal because generals typically like the spy's typically nearby, but this piece there's like no spy in sight. Like these two obviously aren't the spy. So here there's no spy in sight, so this wouldn't make sense to be the gen. So yeah, this makes sense to be the marshal. Because yeah, when playing, I just thought it was just because of how it was acting. So I decided to and also this was I think this was more of his strong side. So I decided to hit this with my gen. And yes, so I do make the right move here. So this just confirms that this is the marshal. But I do something. I'm a little bit stupid later. I mean, you'll see. You'll see. Just to start retreating with my things. So come down with my gen and colonel. And this really confused me. So, but then I realized he's probably getting room for this piece to come out. So now I should have known that this wasn't the marshal because this piece was acting so much like a marshal. I should have just hit this, but I didn't, and let's just say it cost me quite a few pieces. Let's just say that. So yeah, I think for a while, but I'm like, just in case it is, I'll bring my spy up. It makes it obvious, but it was already kind of. I think it's already kind of a little bit obvious because my Gen came from here and spy. I wouldn't put the spy here or here. That just doesn't make sense. So yeah, I think it's already a little bit obvious. So I do decide to move it up next to my Gen, even though I think that's a Gen. So while playing, I should have thought, well, if I'm risky enough to take that colonel with my Gen, I'm risky enough to hit whatever that piece is with my Gen because it's probably not the marshal. So I should have done that while playing. I don't know why I didn't. So now he's coming over with this piece that I think is the marshal. Probably trying to trap my colonel. Now I should have just called this, yeah, but so that's the gen. I should have just hit this. I don't know what I was thinking, but now you can probably see what happens. Now he can trap my colonel, and there's nothing I can do about it. So yeah, I should have known that since the marshal's here, this was obviously not the marshal. I should have just hit that. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, I was just scared. I think I was just scared that it was the marshal, but now my colonel's toast. But now this is not the worst thing in the world because now that I know marshal, well, probably marshal general. I think this is the colonel. No, maybe this is no, sorry. I think this is a major. But anyhow, his colonel's over on this side as well, so I can come up with my colonel on the left and potentially take something. So that's something of value maybe. So that's good. We get a lieutenant, and then we can fork here because these have both moved. So we can get something else. It's just a scout, but every piece helps. So I'm thinking that this could be a major. It's possible. So I can fork again, and we get this minor. So that's good. I've gotten a few pieces with this colonel. So now he's doing this. I just decided to go up here because I would like to get something because this is already an extremely obvious marshal here. Yeah, but I played this really badly. I could have easily saved that colonel by just exchanging generals and taking that little chance. But it's okay because I was up a colonel, and now I'll be even and I'll know some more info. It's not the best situation, but it's whatever. So yeah, I decided to go left. Reason being because if this was a bomb, he would have just gone marshal right, but he didn't. So yeah, I do that, and now we can confirm that it's the marshal, and indeed it is. So marshal general. While I was playing, I know the colonel is actually forgot it in this while I'm doing the analysis, but I think I'm pretty yeah, sorry, it's this piece. I should have known that it's this piece. So he's coming back with defense with his marshal in general, which makes sense. And at this point while I'm playing, I'm really mad at myself for not hitting the general with my general. But now this major, I can trap it with my marshal, and it might be worth it, just because I know it's going to get revealed sooner or later, and I might as well get something good with it. So I think that's what I decided to do. You see, his marshal's coming back for defense. So actually, it ends up I'm actually ended sorry, it ends up that I'm actually not able to trap this major, which is pretty unfortunate. But oh well. Yeah, so here I realized that his major he can just easily retreat it back, and that's why I don't decide to trace it with my marshal because he can easily just go back by his marshal and be safe. So I decided to two-square. This is the major. This is a no major, so I decided to two-square it, and it just goes back. So that was a little bit of a shame. So I scout this. I just want to see what it is, and I might be able to take this piece later. So we had Louis, so that would be nice to take later, so I can even up the lieutenants. So if you look here on the board, I'm down two captains, down a lieutenant. I'm up three sergeants and a minor and a scout, but since I'm down two captains and a lieutenant, I'm definitely losing in this game, considering that the only info advantage I have on him is the marshal, and I think it is already somewhat obvious. So yeah, this is not. I'm not in a good position in this game right now. So yeah, I did what I thought I would. He would move it next to his marshal. So I decided to get my colonel out of there while I still can. Now he wants to trade generals, which makes total sense. Like he's winning in this game, but I can't do anything about it. So I just let him exchange if he wants to. And he makes major over. I think that's because he wants to get my spy after he trades. So yeah, there you go. He trades. So I know I need to get my major over here for defense. Even though my spy is like the most obvious spy in the world, I still would like to keep it if I can. Like if it doesn't cost me any extra stuff, I would like to keep it. So here I know that I could take this, but I have to go up instead because I know I can get this lieutenant. And I think this is lower than a lieutenant because you wouldn't just bring a captain or a major out in the middle where my marshal is and let me hit it. Um, so I could either take this lieutenant or this colonel. But since his gen came from here, his colonel came from I believe it came from here. I'm not entirely sure, but his gen came from here. His colonel's here. The spy is obviously here, so I decided not to take the colonel. So I changed majors over here. So I decided I have to go up instead. It's fine revealing my marshal for my lieutenant at this point in the game because it's it's gonna get obvious the more pieces that get off the board. So might as well get something with it like while I can. So as marshal's pinning my colonel, I'm okay with that. And now my marshal, so this is major, this is a colonel, and this is a moving piece, and this is the probable spy right here. So now I'm thinking that I'm in an okay spot. Like my marshal's pinning his colonel, his major can't really get by, and then his marshal's pinning my colonel. So I'm okay with this right now. So I realize that I'm gonna have to get a captain or two if I want to even have a chance of winning this game. Yeah, so he's moving the spy out, so that proves he can move, and this is really obvious that it's the spy now. If it wasn't obvious before. Then I start coming up with my major on this side because I want to get the spy. And I think I'll be able to, right? I can just go marshal right and then well also so I think that the sergeant this was a really good move in my end, I think, because if I go up again he obviously can't take it with his colonel. I think here he should have gone spy down, and then if I went up he should have just taken it with his colonel. In my opinion that's what he should have done, but he opted to not do that and do a move that in my opinion was not as good instead. So he moved this piece down. So now so this is really good. So I'll be able to get this captain. I'll be able to take this, and then I'll be able to I'll only be down one captain, and now after I take this, I'll be down one captain and up a sergeant, up a minor, up a scout. So now it's going to be possible to win this game. But keep in mind, in order to get this, I'll have to move my major, and then I'll end up losing my spy. But it's super obvious it won't provide me with any help in this game anyhow. So I'm okay with losing it. Also I'll get info of whatever piece this is. So yeah, I'm okay with losing that. For getting a captain. At this point in the game, that's definitely worth it. So yeah, we get that captain. So that's excellent. And we found a lieutenant. So this is good because I'll be able to trap this with my major and marshal. Of course. So I don't want to move my marshal yet because my major is still a bit vulnerable from his colonel, and I gotta keep this entire side pinned. So my marshal is providing a lot of value right now because it's pinning this major, this colonel, and whatever pieces he might have over here. He turns out to actually have like some pieces over here that he probably needed in this game. So yeah, my marshal's like very effective right now. It's doing a very good job of pinning all of his stuff right now. So yeah, this is a great spot for his marshal. For my marshal, his marshal on the other hand, it's not doing so good. Like it's pinning my colonel, sure, but my marshal's getting a colonel, a major, and whatever he has over here. So my marshal's extremely valuable right now. So yeah, even though he is a material, but I think my board position is very good compared to his. Because my marshal, it's blocking like everything. Since I know his marshal and a spy, and I can easily just avoid them. Um, my marshal can easily control a lot of stuff. So he's moving his spy over and his colonel. So I decided to stay on him. This was good. In my opinion, for him, I should have. If I were him, I would have done this again. So I would have to stay on him, and then the center would have been open, and then he could have done a lot of damage in the center. Personally, if I were him, I would have done that. So looks like he is kind of doing that. He's getting his colonel around to the right side, and that's a good move. So now I can come over with the scout, and I can force his colonel to stay over here, or he's gonna lose his spy. Now, if I were him, I would have just sacked the spy because it was super obvious, and I think he could have gotten a better board position by losing it to my scout. So that's his major coming back. So I realized that if I'm gonna get this lieutenant, I'm gonna need to lose this minor, and I'm completely okay with that deal right now because I need a lieutenant or I'm not gonna win this game, like lieutenant or captain, and I end up getting this lieutenant here. I mean, there's not really much he can do, right? He's gonna be able to get my major, but I mean my sorry, not my major. He's gonna be able to get my minor with his major, but I'm okay with that. So here, as you can see, the trap, I'm gonna have to do that. So he starts bringing his colonel down, but I'm not gonna let him. I'm gonna do this. So then he has to bring this back, and then I can just keep him held there with my scout. Now he gets smarter. He brings this piece out. So then then his colonel might make him down here, so I have to be careful. So yeah, I know that I'm gonna lose this minor, so I decided to bring it like a bit more over. So then his colonel gets in. I mean his major gets in a bad spot. Well, not a bad spot, but like a worse spot than it would have been in um prior to that. So he was over. So now I can go down and take this, and then I can still go back up and have time to defend his major and keep it on this part of the board. Or him, after I went, oh no, actually never mind. So now I can go down, he'll go over, I'll go back up. So in my opinion, that was a pretty good play with the minor because now my marshal can still pin this entire side of the board, which is really good. So he brings his colonel over here. I can just bring my major back up because my marshal's pinning his major here. So I decided to go for the spy. I know that I won't be able to do it because this piece, but I know I'll be able to get it with a major and my scale because his colonel is out of place. So he brings that down. So now I know I have to move my scout over because I don't want this piece blocking it. So I'm gonna get his spy here. So that's gonna make my life a lot easier. It's gonna make my marshal even more powerful than it already is. So the info of a minor here, that's like the worst thing that we can get. But I mean, it's another piece that we know. So and every piece helps that we can get info of and possibly take. So I threatened it. I just wanna I'm not entirely sure why I did that. Oh yeah, so now I can bring my miner up. So I'm not sure. So while playing, I was like, okay, this is the flag. But then later, as I was bringing this up, I'm like, wait, maybe this is the flag because Marshall came from here, Jen came from here. Like this was the Marshall side. This was on the Jen side. So it makes you think that it might not be the flags actually because his colonel was like over here, which doesn't really help defending the flag from the center. So I think that this is the flag, so that's where I'm going with my miner. So let's see if it's the flag. Just coming down with that known miner there. I'm okay with that because I have a sergeant and 2 miners here, so he won't be able to get anything done. So I block him here with the sergeant because I realized that he could just go over here and open up my flag. And there's no way that he can get his colonel over here and like somehow get his miner to my flag because I just keep my sergeant here and then worst case scenario I'll take the miner with my sergeant and then his colonel will take that, which is fine. So I could take this, but then he would just move here and fork me, and I don't really want to lose that sergeant when I can avoid it easily. So since he moved here, I can start bringing this miner up, and he can't really do much about it because his marshal's here, pitting my colonel, his major's here. If he brings the marshal over, then it's going to be much harder for him to defend this colonel because his colonel's over on this side, getting occupied with my miner. I mean, with my sergeant and my major. He's bringing his colonel, I mean his major over, not really sure what to do. So here, yeah, I'm going for this one because this was where this was on the marshal side. So it's not slug. I mean, unless it's like open here, but if it's bombed in, this is not slug because we found a captain. But hey, we found a captain, right? We didn't find the flag, but we found a captain. Actually, after this game, he told me that his flag was here. So if I would have done like gone over here and guessed right, I would have gotten his flag. So that's pretty funny. It was on D1. Of course, that was from his point of view, and this is D1 for him. So this is really good because I'm going to be able to get this because his marshal and major are here. His colonel's here. It can't come back because my marshal's blocking it from going to here. So that means I can bring my major back here, and his marshal's going to have to come back, and then his major's also going to have to come back, and then I can bring my colonel up here and take it. So that's great. I'm going to be able to get a captain back, and that's going to help me a lot in my endeavors to win this game. So obviously I'll go over here now. I'm going to start bringing my major up, and to get this captain. So yeah, my marshal again is in a super good spot because his colonel can't come back. He's just realizing this and he brings his marshal back. But I'm obviously not gonna let him trade here because then he can defend this captain. So so instead of trading, I threaten his major with my colonel. Then I go marshal up to pin his captain from going over here. Now I can bring my colonel up and there's nothing he can do to stop it. So I'm gonna get the captain and then I'm gonna be up a lieutenant, up a sergeant, down a minor, and that is winning for me. Assuming he doesn't get my flag. So yeah, I'm gonna be able to get this captain. So interesting. So he doesn't want to trade. He could have forced a trade there, but he doesn't want to. So now I'm like, oh good, he's gonna lotto into this double vertical bomb. So here I'm really surprised that I'm beating this guy because I mean he's like over a full rank ahead of me. So here I'm like at least I think I'm winning because he still definitely could come back and he could easily like slip a miner down here and beat me very easily. But instead he opts to hit some bombs. So we will see how that goes. Spoiler, not very well. So here I'm like, oh my gosh, this is good. Bomb, bomb. I'm just bringing my colonel back for defense, and this game's over because I exchanged miners. I'm not gonna take any chances of him getting over here to open my flag. So bring my colonel back, and it's bomb. Yeah, so the double vertical bombs. I used to use the setup in lower rank play, but it didn't really work that well. But in high rank play, people don't expect you to have double vertical bombs, especially if you're like in silver, like I am. So that worked. So we get his major now, definitely a GG. This goes for Lotto with his colonel and hits himself into this bomb. It's possible that he thought that this was my flag. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, that was great. So that was an incredible win. I think that I played this game extremely well because I trapped a lot of pieces. I had my marshal in a very strategic spot in the center, so his stuff couldn't get by like at all. His marshal was being like super useless, pitting my major. I mean my colonel, so it wasn't really doing much. So yeah, that's gonna be GG. This is a very long game. But yeah, I think I played this game super well. I beat it's the highest rating player I ever beat. So yeah, gold colonel. I did take some risks. They paid off. I definitely did lose that colonel on the right side when I could have easily saved it. So I definitely didn't play the game perfectly, but I think I played it really well. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more quality Stratego content. And I will see you guys in the next video.